Welcome to Packmates, a podcast about Magic the Gathering Limited, where we take a deep dive in the current limited format. The Packmates are a group of friendly card sharks that love going to F&M, hanging out, and getting them dubs. I'm Orion, your resident blue expert.
Ooh, you are definitely the resident blue expert, and I'm Andrew, the resident Rakdos expert this week.
Expert's a strong.
It was. I'm just like I'm like a resident adventurer novice. What's the Not a novice, like
journeyman.
Journeyman. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This week we're going to talk about our decks. We're going to do the trophy. What did he call it? Trophy talk.
Trophy talk.
Trophy talk. We're going to talk about the 17 lands feature that we just figured out.
Yeah,
and maybe a little other stuff. We'll see what happens.
A little gameplay or tighten up your game.
Little tips and tricks.
A little, what do you call it? Like a little tune-up on the play.
A little this, a little that. And we are the Packmates. Wow.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
That may have been the best.
That was hands down the best. And it's because Roby's gone. Roby's not here this week, by the way, guys. He bailed on us.
That was
probably gone forever.
That was... I mean, after and we are the Packmates.
Yeah, like after he hears that, he's editing.
Jeez.
He's gonna be so jelly.
Just to, dear listeners out there, that was just organic.
Yeah,
that was a one take, and it just happened.
Yep.
Witness history.
We should probably talk about that for another 5 minutes. It'll never be that good. We should just clip that and use it every time, and have Roby try to just match it. It should be one of our buttons.
Splice that one in. Yeah, we'll put that on there. Oh my gosh. So F&M today was it was a thing. We had a little 10-man pod.
Yep.
A little out of the ordinary, no signaling to be had really.
Yeah, we've been having those 10-man pods and they're kind of rough.
It's been pretty rough, but some people have been navigating them better than others.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. I didn't navigate it very well this week.
You're to my left. It's not fair.
Well, you were passing to me, so you really put me in a deck.
I gave you some good cards. I did give you some good cards.
And you cut me with that cut-in that you gave me.
Yeah, I gave you 2 cut-ins because cut-ins are garbage. And it's I'm not going to the side for a cut-in. I'm not going to change my game plan because I see a cut-in. But then I saw Twisted Fealty, and I'm like, okay. Well, okay, now I'm in. I guess I'll do Is It again for the 8th time. Not aggro this time. More not just aggro. Card advantage with just good stuff.
Really? So this was did you feel like this was just kind of a different flavor of that deck? We always think when we think the aggro-y kind of way of doing that Is It deck or...
So it wasn't the aggro deck, and it wasn't really even the Spells Matter deck.
Yeah.
It was just a card advantage Is It deck. It was kind of it was kind of different. I played 3 counters. I had 3 pretty decent removal spells, a Twisted Fealty, but then I had 2 Into the Fey Courts.
Oof.
And a Witch's Mark, which is a lot of card draw. I don't know if you know this, but that's a lot. And then I had an Ingenious Prodigy as well. Mm-hmm. Which is even more.
Yeah, that card is insane.
That was passed to me pack 1, pick 2. And and pack 1, pick 1, I took the 3/3 fairy that has word 2. I was like,
pack 1, pick 2?
Pack 1, pick 1, I got the 3/3 fairy.
Okay.
And then pack 1, pick 2, the X blue guy that has Skulk and draws cards. I'm like, I guess I'll play blue.
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do there? Yeah,
I mean, you're supposed to just take them and do it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to act like an expert every time you draft. Sometimes you just get the cards and you just play them, right? Sometimes it's very straightforward.
Just open up blue bombs.
And then I was I cut blue very hard, pack 1. I kind of I think my first 7 cards were blue.
I felt it it right away. I was like, oh, this dude's in full blue mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some packs in there that was just I think there was a couple of packs where it just was missing a complete color in them.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, wow, look at that. I'm noting these things down.
Yeah, and I didn't take any really bad blue cards. I think all those first 6 picks I played, besides 1, which was Adventures triggered twice.
Yeah. I think people just devalue blue cards so much, especially in our kind of environment that we're in. There's a lot of newer players shy away from blue.
Well, people call it the worst color, and it is kind of the worst color, right? But it's also the worst. It's partially the worst color because I don't think people know how to play it because it's not normal decks, I guess.
Yeah.
You would never put Into the Fey Court into a million decks that over a million at the last 100 limited archetypes, you would not play Into the Fey Court.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Yeah. I think sometimes when newer players kind of get in there, if they've had a taste of some Magic before and got some of their spells countered and things like that. And they're just like, I really don't like that blue. I don't really want to play it.
Yeah, people have an aversion to it for sure.
They really do. And it's one of those colors that's very polarizing for people.
I always call myself the aggro player, and I think I draft blue more than everyone else.
There's always a hint of blue shading around these aggro cards with you. Like there was that blue-white phase that you were in for like the longest time.
You guys forced it. Like,
did we?
I will always play maybe not always. Like on Arena, sometimes I'll put my head down and force something just because I want to try it, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course, yeah.
And sometimes I'll do that even in F&M, but most of the time in F&M, like I try to be like the most open I can be. Like I'm comfortable playing anything, but if you guys are just gonna keep giving it to me and passing me hatching plans into the pay courts and all the good blue stuff, then I'm just gonna do it. Like somebody
passed your hatching plans?
Yeah, I think.
Did you play it?
No. Doesn't need it. Didn't need it.
So it was a good pass.
Didn't need it. Best of common in blue, didn't need it. I actually
great pass.
It was crazy because
smart man.
Like blue was like extremely open, and normally like the bad like blue bargain cards you can get like late.
Oh yeah,
like no one wants them.
I didn't see any of the bounce spell though.
I only saw it once, and it was like early. I was like, this won't like. I mean, it was 10 people. I was like, it won't table, but like I'll see it again.
Yeah,
and I saw none of those. I saw like only one or two of like the curse switches that puts like the curse roll.
Yeah,
and none of the premium like uncommon ones, and like only one torch the tower.
Yeah. How many times have you drafted blue this set in the FDMs? Has it just been every week?
No,
I missed a couple weeks there, so
I don't remember. I feel like a lot.
Yeah,
probably like 4 weeks.
Yeah, you can always kind of feel when it's just being underdrafted, like immediately, or somebody's just passing you like premium blue bombs.
Yeah, like a lot of people, I feel like definitely like misevaluate the cards too.
Yeah,
so like and like it's different for different decks.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
deck was good. I had 2 skewer slingers just to spite Roby. I 2-0'd everyone. I went 4-0.
Didn't lose a single match.
Didn't lose a single match. Then Andrew made me re-sleeve it up because he felt like he had a bad beat. And
I did feel like I had a bad beat.
So then I did another 2-0.
Yeah, I had a 16 land Rakdos deck that drew 13 lands. It happens.
Yeah,
it just happens, man. It's part of the game, and you just got to roll along with it. Or go back to our old episodes and figure out all the things that you could do from our super effecta, from the slim fast in those. Oh my gosh, this thing's like definitely marching machines, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
If you just stumble, like it's gonna be hard to win.
Dang, I felt like the mulligans. I had said this in between rounds to people, and it was like the mulligans just feel so punishing. And they've been feeling worse and worse as time has gone on.
Like, that's always been true of, like, aggressive decks, right?
Yeah.
Like, whenever you mulligan a card, you're out, like,
a
couple damage.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this set's so aggressive, and a lot of people have such aggressive decks that, like, when I have it into the fake court and you mulligan, like, I almost win the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially if you're an aggressive deck. And, like,
exactly.
I ever stabilize.
Yeah.
Dang. But yeah, the deck was sick. Like some of the sickest stuff I did was like play Twisted Fealty, take their dude.
Yeah.
And then like put Twisted Fealty back on top of my deck with the octopus.
Jeez.
And then like kill their dude. And like later I'd kill their dude and then they'd have a blank board. And I'd have like, you know, like a 2/5 and a 2/1 flyer. Like not a ton of damage, but they, you know, they'd be fairly low. And I just like, I'll put Twisted Fealty back on top and play this octopus.
Oh,
and then
man.
they're like, I guess I scoop. Like
I was like, I just can't play a creature now, right? Oh, I'm just dead. Ah. Yeah. Excellent. Good to know.
Yep. And then the rares were very good. Had a ton of draw. Had the Viper. The Viper was like pretty mediocre, but yeah, pretty good mid-range red blue deck.
Yeah.
1 3s for 2 really slowed down the quick decks.
They do. Those 2 5s that you have too, that Johan or whatever was brick wall there.
Andrew tried to play oppression on me, and it was just the most adorable thing ever.
Oh man, yeah. It was pretty good. It was not very good actually. In a set that has like guys that go on adventures, oppression just doesn't feel as good. Yeah. You know, you're just like, oh, you have no cards in hand, but you have 3 cards on an adventure right now. And then, so they're able to play the spell and then just play the adventure guy like afterwards. So, I played Rakdos this week. Ryan put me into it. You know, he was passing to me.
I mean, I thought you were going to be in white of some sort. I figured you'd be in black off the first pack or 2. But there was definitely an avenue for green, white, and I was like pretty disappointed that you didn't find the green or the white.
I was surprised that there was a green white guy, the uncommon signpost, the 4/4 that gives all enchanted creatures +1/+1 that you'd pass, and it It was pretty early on in the draft, and I was like, I just stared at that thing and just like, is this where my draft is going to go right now? And I wasn't really sure if I was ready to go and full on commit to that. Normally, green's pretty underdrafted a little bit sometimes. White, it's very hard to gauge like what people take, and there's some people there who really like white cards and whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just part of the game too.
Like the turn that I decided I was red and took a Twisted Fealty, which was like pack 1, pick 7, pick 8. I'm like, if Twisted Fealty's here, I guess I'm red. There was also a Hamlet Glutton in that same pack, and I passed it to you, and I'm like, because like I was like, do I go red or do I go green? Like these cards are both very good. Like, and I know green's going to be more open than red because
I should have looked at the signals a little bit more because I noticed like I'd picked up a couple of green cards here and there. But I really pegged you for being green, actually.
Really?
Like for a good portion, I thought you were actually going to go into the green-blue deck. I knew you were blue like 100%.
Yeah, I was cutting it very hard.
Yeah, like I could feel that, but I just couldn't gauge where you were at. And I would have never guessed red. As soon as I got that cut in, I really thought you had me. Like
my red was like pretty light.
But it was nothing but premium stuff, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was fine, right? Like I saw like red cap thieves and skewer singers and stuff, but like, and like most of the red decks don't want skewer slingers. Yeah, but they were pretty good in mine.
I got 3 haunting nightmares and stuff like that in my deck, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the table was pretty good. The card's insane. Like it's very good.
Yeah,
especially in a format too where it's just so aggressive. Like getting that extra bit of like a little bit of card advantage or whatever. Just 1-for-1 on the card.
It seemed like you just didn't have the bargaining tools.
There wasn't a lot. I didn't have very many candy grapples in there. I had 1 candy grapple. My removal was okay. It wasn't the best, but I had like with the cut-ins and I had the end. The end was pretty good. I really enjoyed that one quite a bit. And so I actually ended up getting one of my opponents. I killed like a kind of big 6/6 whatever creature. And he's like, I got another one in my deck. I was like, oh, bonus.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of saying, well, like, oh, I draw a card. I was like, oh, no. It's only when it hits your hand, you get to draw the card.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, okay, cool.
You get to see this whole deck. It's so good.
Feels so good, yeah. Although when you look at their deck and their deck's like insane, you're like, oh gosh, they just drew the bad side of their deck. Yeah. It's just like, they got nothing but bullets left. It's pretty bad. It hurts a little bit because you're like, ooh, you got to really start gauging, especially because it was like a green-black deck that I was playing against. And so like already if if I'm like not winning by then or they're in still double digits when I see all that stuff and they have so much food and food synergies in that deck, like if they get to the late game, it's pretty hard for the aggro deck to really get under that. Yeah. I mean, you have to really come out of the gates and get that 1, 2, 3 drop and then get that cut in.
Yeah.
It's always with that cut in. It's such a good curve topper. That's kind of what I had. All my removal was just on my curve toppers. And so it made I should have mulliganed a little bit more aggressively. That was another thing I noticed, especially in a deck that was like so aggro based. I really shouldn't have settled for anything less than a 1-drop, 2-drop at least, or like a 2-drop into 3-drop, into 4-drop removal spell.
I'd say like 2 out of 3 of 1 through 3 drops, right?
Yeah, of course. And so I think that'd be good. I had some good 1-drops. I had the 2/1 red guy that makes the roll there. He's pretty decent.
Yeah.
For one, the bread guy. I can't remember what his name is.
The haste guy?
No. Oh, I did have the 1/1 haste guy.
Yeah.
That guy's really good too. Yeah. It's like, oh, he just blocks stuff too. Okay, that's great. Actually, his secret ability is just blocking Gingerbrute.
Oh yeah, the 1-drop 2/1.
Yeah.
Imbrith.
Imbrith. Yeah. Imbrith was pretty
veteran.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, the veteran was pretty good, and it was like it's very threatening on that one. Yeah, right there. Good.
Not against 1/3s. They're so good. I wish Roby was here so I could have stomped him too.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he probably would have. Oh yeah. He'd probably taken a stomping from that. Yeah, I couldn't. I wasn't satisfied with my 1 loss. I needed to take another loss.
Yeah.
I got to get my losses out of the way. Tomorrow's our just dating the podcast a little bit. Tomorrow's going to be the store championship. So I gotta get my losses out of the way because I gotta win all.
Yeah,
I gotta win out.
Whenever you need a loss out of the way, you just talk to me.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh man, yeah, but it really is. This set's kind of feeling like really harkening back to that kind of March or War of the Machines, right? What's it, War of the Machines? March of Machines, and just like that kind of really like you want to have your deck on this slim fast plan.
Yeah, you need to be doing something to affect. Like if you just stumble or stutter or whatever, you're going to lose a huge percent of games. Like that's why Witch's Mark is so good.
Yeah.
Into the Fake Court is so good.
Yeah.
All that, because if you're stumbling around, then you're just going to lose.
Felt like I just ran out of gas, and I was like, I could use a little bit more fuel in the fire.
Like it's okay to run out of gas if they're at like 2, but like if they're not at like 2, then it's rough, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh man. So yeah.
Yep. But that's the format. Or those are our decks. So
yeah,
fun times. Next up, I kind of want to talk about this new 17 lands data. Well, I don't know how new it is, but if you have the 17 lands app, they have a player behavior thing. And it like you can look at like right now I'm looking at my Wilds of Eldraine Premier Draft stats.
Yes.
And it has this cool like dot plot with line of correlation on it, and it shows you like all these stats. So like right now here's a splash rate graph, and it says we see a non-trivial positive correlation with win rate and splash. So that means like the more you splash, like the more likely you are to win. Right?
Okay.
More often.
Yeah.
And it says you seem to be like, it tells you where you rank up according to everyone else.
Oh, dang.
You seem to be right on the sweet spot. So like my game win rate is like 62 or 63.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
And my splash rate is about 60% of the time splashing.
Wow.
So you should be splashing. But yeah,
Did you splash today?
I thought about it, but I didn't need to.
Okay.
I splash way more on Arena than I do on F&M.
Splash.
I mean, I do splash in F&M sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Just wondered.
There's like another mulligan one, like negative correlation with win rate and mulligan rate overall. Apparently I'm right in the sweet spot in that. I'm mulliganing about 10% of the time. People that mulligan about 13% of the time, looks like they have like a 20% less win rate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's like crazy.
Jeez. Oh, man.
Yeah. Except there's one dude that has like a mulligan rate of like over 50%, and he has like a 55% win rate. There's like one dot on there, like way at the top. That poor guy.
Oh my gosh.
Or girl.
Yeah.
There's a pack one, pick one play rate one.
Oh man, Roby's got to be like all.
And they said there's no correlation with that, but mine's like 76% or something about.
Oh wow.
There's a main color bias. Like this one's cool.
That's kind of interesting, actually. That pack one, pick one play rate thing. So many times, like I hardly ever like play my pack one, pick one sometimes, just because the draft like dictates something different. You know, and you're just reading the signals there.
Yeah, and this format is pretty easy to splash it if it's good enough. Right?
Well, that's true. Yeah, there should be no reason why you're not playing.
I mean, there's a few, but yeah,
unless you're just straight up rare drafted.
Yeah, which is fine.
Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just need a black cleave cliffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to talk about everyone else at rare drafts. Like, you're better than them. This next one is main deck color bias. So like if you have like a favorite, like you like to play, is it? And there's a positive correlation with that. And I am in that.
What's your color bias? Does it say? Does it say? Oh, damn.
I can look at the data later.
Oh, okay. Damn. I just wanted it to be like your blue player.
Yeah. Probably. Like no one else will do it. And this is the craziest one, though. This is the one I saved for last. Rares per draft that you play.
Oh, man.
Negative correlation. Rares per draft. The more rares you draft, the worse your deck is.
Really?
Sweet spot, 3 rares.
That seems all right. Yeah. You're opening up 3 rares, you get something good.
Yep. I thought that one was crazy.
That's a pretty interesting one.
Yeah.
There were so many formats where I felt like just the rares were just like, if you just drafted all rares, you were pretty good.
Like this format definitely has some like bombs, but like overall, the rares are all like pretty manageable.
Yeah. I didn't think you can navigate across quite a few of them, I think. I don't think there's anything that's like so except for Gruff triplets.
Yeah, Gruff triplets.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty damn impressive.
But like the third best like win rate rare is like a 3/3 that makes 2 1/1s.
Yeah.
For 4, which is like good, but it's not like, oh my God, I lost no matter what. Yeah. Good.
I was able to beat that card a couple times today.
Yeah.
It was.
It's still a good card.
It didn't feel like Gruff triplets bad.
Yeah, it's not Gruff triplets.
Oh man.
I'll tell you that. It's not Gruff triplets.
You open up like a Gruff triplets like pack 3, you're just doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone can get lucky, sure. Gruff triplets are they're good.
Like you're just doing it. You're not in green at all, and you just open up a Gruff triplets pack 3.
You should always be specking a little bit of green just in case, right? You always just spec a little bit.
Is that where you're just like you're trying to remember how many prismatic or like how many scarecrows or something like that. You're just like, all right, how many prisms did I get?
Pack 3, like gruff triplets in every fixing piece I see.
That's it. It's like we're going green now.
It's so hard to get fixing in Pack 3 though.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone waits till the last minute.
Yeah, everybody thinks they could just, oh man. I'm definitely guilty of that. I'm just like, no.
It's so hard to get it. It's like today I was like, I'm just gonna get my bargain stuff Pack 3. It'll be fine. Like, and I didn't get it.
No.
Didn't get it. But yep, check that out. It's under player behavior on 17 lands.
That's kind of cool. When did that? So that just rolled out this week?
For this set, I don't know how long the actual thing's been out, but I just noticed it. So.
Oh man, I always liked when they had was it like not Architect, but it was like basically like you can see the different kind of species or like what kind of cards go with what deck, and I feel like they've kind of integrated that sort of into this now, into the newer one.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. Oh man, that's such good data.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like a data driven, like what was that Yu-Gi-Oh?
If you're a dweeb.
Yeah.
If you're a dweeb.
Was it like
which like we are, right?
Yeah. I kind of what's that? It was like a Weevil or something like that. That little in Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't know.
Geez.
I don't play.
I mean, I shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't.
I'm way too cool for that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Me too. Oh man, no, that's pretty cool. I've really always liked that. Oh man. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Next up, we got trophy decks, trophy talk. We're gonna start off with this Bial guy who just seems to post in here every week about his trophy decks.
Yeah, I know this guy's getting too many trophy decks. The guy's got a mantle like crazy.
Yep. Dude, that's me, by the way. I'm Bial.
Oh, are you Bial?
Yeah, I'm Bial. Posted a Brothers War quick draft deck. And I was like, I'll just do it once. Like, it was fun. And 7-1. Aggro rating though, from 0 to 9,000, probably like a 300. Not very aggro.
This is definitely a mid-range spectacle here. I love it.
Yeah, this is
this is where we're at. This is where we're at. Although, man, geez, like just having all those stewards, the
stalwarts.
Yeah, the stalwarts are just so damn good.
Yep,
man, those guys were houses. I used to love this. This was like a really, really fun set. It was one of my better sets too.
Yeah,
I don't think I dropped very many games that set.
Yeah, you kept ducking me.
It was it was a damn good set.
Yeah, you did do well on that set.
Although this was the Slim Fast set, if I remember correctly.
Yes, because you had all the artifacts.
You had all the artifacts. And I feel like you were saying that you kind of harken back to that when we were talking about the WoW set, the new set. You were just kind of like that kind of Slim Fasty kind of thing. But this is so cool to just throw back here. Yeah, definitely like a 9,000 on the freaking mid-range scale here.
Exactly 40 cards, obviously.
100%. Like, why would you ever go more than 4?
Right.
You like efficiency, right?
Yeah. Like, you know how you love getting your best cards? Isn't it so fun to just get those more often?
It's so good. You know how many other cards just get in the way? You just get to draw the stuff that you really want to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's so good.
You know how great it is when you just play a deck and you don't draw a single card where you're like, oh, that card sucks. Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun.
Except for the Gigamole, right?
The Gigamole's 6, bro. Like, this Gigamole's hitting every time. This is basically Scrapwork Rager with selection. Gigamole hits all the time.
Oh, my God.
It goes like Gigamole.
Gigamole. Oh, man.
Hater.
That's kind of cool. I should probably go on Arena and just really kind of relive the good old days there.
Yeah, it's fun to hit an old quick draft every once in a while.
Oh my god!
I wish they would do premieres every once in a while. In the year, they should do like a premiere gauntlet where you have to like do every set or something. And like just you get to play like X amount of games. Like you play 7 games in every set, and then like your total win loss at the end. That'd be dope. It'd be grueling. Like you could have like months to do it, right? Like a month.
Speaking of grueling, we actually had one of our trophy deck posters in our Discord actually made was it 7-0 on the qualifier weekend.
Yep. 7-0 on the qualifiers.
And so they had this sick gruel deck, and it was definitely, you look at this, you're kind of scanning, you go from left to right, and oh man, gruff triplets.
Yeah. And then you just double take back like, 3 tough cookies.
Yeah.
One time I drafted 2 and I was like, holy shit. I was like,
yeah. Very good. Very good. Yeah, those guys, man, 3 tough cookies. And even the feral encounter is like hella good in this deck. It just gets you closer to drawing your Gruff triplet. Or the freaking, gosh, what was the other one that was really good in here too? Man,
Emendane's Recruiter.
Thank you. That was the one.
Yep, which is like the 5th best card in the format or something like that on an uncommon.
It's insane. The win percentage on the thing is like out the roof.
Yeah, it's like, you know what card was good? Imperial Oath. What if we made a little better?
Jeez. It's like 65%. It's like super, super high.
That's good. This deck has so many 2-drops that are like playable bodies. I'm actually going to give it, like, it's a mid-range deck, but on the aggressive scale, it still gets like a 4,000.
Really? Jeez.
It's like I mean, it only has like,
cookie, right? It's the cookie.
It only has 4 cards that cost like 4 or more. Yeah, tough cookies are insanely aggressive.
Yeah. You know what I've been kind of impressed with is Grand Ball Guest.
Yeah, that card's really good.
I've been like surprised how much I can celebrate that guy.
Oh yeah, if you play the Boros with the mouse too, like they're just always 3/3s for 2.
Like even today when I had it in my deck today, and I was able to just play like just a bunch of guys who were just like make a food, make a treasure, make a rat. And I was like, oh, geez, this guy's just tripping all the time. He's like 3/3. I mean, not tough cookie good, but I mean, you know, like
tough cookie triggers them too.
Oh, jeez, what a guy! What a guy!
Yep.
Now this was just like a sick deck. I mean, if you can't 7-0 with this deck, like whoa.
Yeah. I mean, 7-0 is like rare even with the best decks, right? Because variants and all that. But
you get variants, and then you're, especially on a qualifier like this, like really, like you're playing the best of the best there.
Yeah. 7-0 on a qualifier is insane.
Yeah, that's so good. And it's just a testament to how good the player is to just get that 7-0 just sailing through the first day like that. Just no care in the world.
Yep. Sick deck.
Yeah, very nice.
What are you rating it?
Whew. It was like an 8,000.
8,000.
It's 8,000. The double cookie. I really triple cookie, and I just really like this feral encounter. I think that just does so much work. Plus, he's got Return to the Wilds, super mid-rangey card.
Yep.
Like, always just good. That card is very impressive as I kind of go along a little bit sometimes, especially if you got the higher drops or whatever.
Yeah, Return to the Wilds. Return from the Wilds is good.
It's kind of nice just getting that body or that little bit of food to just kind of kick you up to go to the next like higher cards or whatever. Buy you some more time, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a card like cut in for me that I'm like 90% sure I've yet to play in this format. But it is good.
You're missing out. You're missing out on cut in, man.
Like who needs removal?
You're missing out on. You're missing out on. You're missing the boat on cut in, man.
No, I know cut in's very good. I do know it's good.
Oh my gosh.
It costs 4. Why do I want to play shit that costs 4?
It's a curve topper, man. It's a curve topper, and he's top the curve.
4.
It's just 1, 2, 3. Cut in. Done. Cut it.
I win.
Cut it. I win. Yeah. Flick a coin too, man. Whew. Double flick a coin.
So when you have a billion 2-drops, how do you decide what to play? Which one to play? Like when you have a handful of 2-drops, why? Like I always know like which one I should play, but like why do I know that?
Ooh, man. So you look at the other cards. You look at the other cards around it, right? And you're just like, okay, well, how does it synergize with the other pieces in your deck? That should probably be like, is that this one synergize more with than, or does it jive more with my deck than the other guy does?
Yep.
That's probably my first way of looking at it. And then I look at like, what is my deck trying to do?
Right.
Is it trying to be defensive, or is it trying to be like, what's my deck identity, I guess, right? Like, or am I just trying to beat down? If I'm trying to beat down, I'm putting some 3-1s in there and just going to town.
Let me phrase this into like a more answerable question.
Yeah.
You know how like you have some 2-drops that are like very good and some that are like disposable?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you play your best 2-drop onto?
Play it onto?
Yeah.
Ooh. Sometimes I put the disposable guy first.
I do a lot.
Yeah, I sandbag it.
People fire it off, especially if I'm on the play.
Yeah. People get so trigger happy on removal. You're definitely right.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm victim of that too. And I'll just like, I'm using it.
Yeah.
Like you just like want to just use it.
Or like if I'm on the draw and the other person like left 2 mana up and they like are playing black or red.
Yeah.
Like they probably have a removal spell.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play this 2/1.
Yeah.
And they're probably gonna fire it off because they're gonna feel the need to like use their mana, and then later I'm just playing my good dude. Like it's gonna help me win the game.
I always see you do this all the time when I see you play. You'll play the guy out, and then you just always go for it. Like you're always just like, if you got the pump spell or whatever, I'm doing it. But you're always using your expendable guy. You know, you're just like, cool. All right, great. I didn't give a crap about that dude. This is a real beater.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh gosh, why did I waste that stupid pump spell on this guy or my trick or whatever it is on this other guy when I could have just saved it for the like main course over here.
I'd say over half of people, probably like more than half, especially when you get to like higher ranks in arena and you're playing like, people that are kind of good.
Yeah.
They like don't expect you to call them out a lot of the time.
Oh, heck no.
And like when you call them out, because like every time, like, I don't know about you guys, but like every time like I attack or do anything, I'm like, after this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And when you block and you like force them to play their buff instead of playing their 3-drop, like you slow them down significantly. And even though you lose your dude, like sometimes you can't lose that dude, right? Like sometimes it's your only dude and like you gotta be very careful.
Yeah, of course,
Sometimes you're like, if you just buff and you don't add anything to the board this turn, like that's very good for me.
It's pretty nice, And then you got the trick out of their hand. Just, oh man.
Yep. And sometimes you have like little removal for their trick too, like.
That is so good.
It's just there's lots to like sequencing and stuff, but
sequencing is huge.
The biggest thing you should always do is you should have a plan, right? Like when you see your 7 cards, you should be like, okay, assuming he does nothing, turn 1 I'm gonna do this, turn 2 I'm gonna do that, turn 3 I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then every time you draw a new card, you should reevaluate your plan.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like every time you draw a new card. And your plan also needs to be like, what lands do I tap? What land do I play turn 1? Like I played Torch the Tower last game, so I'm going to play a mountain, even though I don't have any red cards in my hand.
Yep.
I'm going to represent that I have a Torch the Tower because I'm on the draw. I'm going to play a mountain, so that way he thinks he probably has a Torch the Tower.
Yeah.
And like even if you think like he probably doesn't have a Torch the Tower, you're thinking about like you're scared of it, right?
There's
like,
so many times where I've kept 1 black mana open, attacking a 2/2 into a 2/2, and they're like, nope. I ain't falling for this rat out.
Yep.
And you just get a free 2 damage just sailing in there.
Yep. See, rat out, I will kind of not always try to call because like people are just happy to fire off the rat out. Like
I'm always trigger happy for the rat out.
Rat out's good. But if you're red and green, like fire off that giant growth to kill my 2/1 and save your 2/1 instead of killing me. Like all the time.
I think 1 red sometimes inspires that too. It's in the same way Rat Out does that monstrous growth or whatever it's called. The one that gives a monster roll.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. But the one, I don't know. It all depends, right? Like you can't just call every attack. Sometimes you have to like let them get through and feel like they were a big man and they did something. Like you're like this 1 damage really doesn't matter. And like, I don't know. But sometimes you're just like, like I think I have the late game. Like make them use their stuff, make them stumble a little bit.
Man, so you sandbag the best guy, the best 2-drop. You just kind of
not always.
Okay,
not always, but like depends on who I'm playing, what colors they are, right? Like they're base blue, then I'm just gonna rush them out, right? Like
you got to get under the counter spells.
Yeah, gotta get under the counter spells. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll sandbag them. Like if I have protection in my hand, like a little hexproof or something, I'll rush them out pretty quick.
That's so good.
It depends. And like it also depends on like how key that card is to your strategy, right? Like if that 2-drop or 3-drop or 4-drop, whatever, is like key to your strategy, you have to be very careful about when you play it. Like you never want to play in like open mana, or like especially if it's blue or if the dude's never played a removal spell the whole game. You're like, do I need this now? Do I not? Like everyone has some removal spells. Like not everyone, but like most people, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But the biggest thing is like make a plan. Like if you have a grip full of 2-drops, like why doesn't it make sense to play this one first? Am I on the play? If I'm on the play, I should probably play my 3/1 first, right?
Yeah.
If they don't have a 2-drop, then I'm gonna get 3 damage in.
Yeah.
If I have a haste guy, I like to, play like maybe my 2/2 and then the next turn play my haste guy and just hit them kind of out of nowhere for like a lot more than they were expecting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I play my haste guy early because they're also kind of aggressive and
you can start winning the race then.
Yep. But it's very dependent. Like the good thing about Magic is like all those decisions, right? Like if it was linear, it wouldn't be that fun.
Yeah.
But when I stand behind anyone, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? And like, I mean, even you or Roby or like, you guys are good. Like you guys are good.
No, I was making mistakes today left and right. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, whoa, what am I doing? Like my sequencing was just so bad on some of these games. I was like, what am I doing? We were playing like a fun game too. And I was like, what is the sequencing I'm doing? Yeah. I was like, why am I doing it? Like an amateur. Like,
I think if you had done it the other way, did I have the Torch the Tower? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I could have baited it.
I think I was going to get you had to do it that way, but you could have cut in first because you had oppression out the
oppression was just it oppressed me on that one on my
oppressed yourself.
Yeah, because I wanted to play the guy out of the exile. Man, it was bad.
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt.
That was was funny. You did oppress yourself pretty bad. And you're like hoping I would kind of block it. And like,
oh, man.
Just self-inflicted oppression is always the best. But yeah, I mean, just have a plan, adjust your plan every time you draw a card, and tell yourself why your plan makes sense. If you can't explain why you did what you did, you shouldn't have done it.
That's true.
You shouldn't have done it.
I like your idea when you just said reevaluate where you're at. You know, you have your original plan, but when you draw your card, really reevaluate. Don't get so like tunnel visioned about this. Like, I have to do this sequence of plays and this is going to win me the thing, or I've got to keep holding up my removal, and just like, no, just commit another dude to the board.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Put the pressure on you.
Sometimes it's correct to, hold up your removal, but sometimes it's not. It just depends. You have to decide if you're the pressure guy or not too.
You gotta know your role.
Yep. Yep. If you lose a lot of games because you swing, they swing, you swing, they swing, then you need to work on your evaluation skills of who's the beatdown.
Yeah.
Because like usually if two people are okay with swinging, one person has a card to swing the math, and if you're not that guy that has the card to swing the math, then you should probably be chilling out a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely so.
Like, and that's something people don't get. Like, people will just look at the board and be like, "Well, you're gonna take 4.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna take 4, but like I went first, so like you're gonna lose."
Yeah, there's been some games out there where I think I don't know. Maybe you saw one of the games where I was like just so brutally aggressive because I knew that I was the beatdown.
Yeah.
To like, it just looked like I was not the beatdown that entire game. And I was like, nope, going in. I know this is it. I'm going to get it. I got it. Yeah. It was like, I knew my role right away. And I was like, I had these cards to punch through that they just didn't have.
Yep. One big thing you can do too is I see a lot of people struggle with like kind of parity boards and when to like push through and when to block. And a lot of times what people will do is like they'll have like a big like 5-5 and they'll swing it in. But that's also like the only thing stopping you from like sitting your board, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like a lot of times it's fine to like just take it and then just be like, can you really like afford this crackback? And like then that's how you win like a parity board sometimes. Like not all the time, obviously, but so like the parity boards dance is like really difficult, and a lot of people get that decision paralysis where they're like, oh, if I swing with this and this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
But there's like lots of ways to kind of break that board. That's like it's kind of hard to explain and like format dependent, right? But like breaking the parity boards is a huge skill that I see like a lot of people not having. Yeah. It's hard to explain, but like basically the way I'm gonna put it is like if you hit me, like out of pocket, like you hit me when you shouldn't have, like you're taking a ton of damage the next turn. Yeah, there's no other way to put it. Like you hit me with your big dude, sure, I'm swinging with everybody. Yeah, figure it out. Obviously not all the time, but like a lot of the time. And then you're thinking, wow, can I really like afford to swing back at him? Like, no, because now I'm at 3. Like, you know what I mean? And then you kind of broke the board and you kind of get to do whatever you want to do now. And then you control the game. It's all about controlling the game, really. Like when you're out of control because you feel like the other guy's flooding the board and all this and you just can't keep up, like that's where you can't be, right? You always have to be the person in control. There's like, when the other person's making your decisions for you, you're going to lose a lot of games, right? Like when there's another 3-3 and you like feel like you have to block with your 3-3, like.
Yeah, you're not playing your game, you're playing their game. Yeah, it's really bad.
That's usually a symptom of either misplays or like a bad deck. So if you're feeling like that all the time, then maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing. Yeah. You disagree?
No, I don't disagree.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
right?
no,
like,
I get it. Yeah.
When you're just feeling like, oh, you're just forced and you're chumping and you're like barely surviving.
Yeah.
Like, you only win like 10 to 20% of those games, right? Like,
it's going to take like massive haymakers on your side, like back-to-back haymakers.
Board wipes,
Yeah. You know, there's some games that do slip away occasionally too, where you're just
for sure.
You know, but very few and far between when those things happen. It's just like bad variance at that point.
Like you should always, like every time you swing, assuming you're like, you should be able to like decide with whatever mana they have up, like what tricks they could possibly have. And you should always know how they are going to block if they have the trick or not. And like, you should just know that, like, right? Like every single time I swing, I know what you're going to do. Like every time, right? Like there's never like, there's maybe some rares or some uncommons. I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah. But like 95% of the time I swing, like I know what's going to happen before I swing. And if you're not there, you have to be there.
Yeah. I always roll the commons first. I'm just like, and then you're right. It's like, if you have the rare, you have the rare. If you have okay. If you have the uncommon, probably shame on me a little bit. But like, if you have the rare, like whatever.
And you have
so
to
few
like
far between.
You have to like realize like you're scary too. Like you're swinging and you have like all your mana up. You should have like almost all your mana up every time you swing. Like even if they have the buff, they're like, can I really like block and fire it off? Because if I do, and then he like kills my thing, like I just lose. Right?
I always like it when we just have everybody has open mana, and you're just like, okay, I'm swinging, and then it's just like, finally,
it's like the never-ending stack. It's like, boom, like.
That's always like that's some good magic there.
Yeah. It's like when you're a kid and you do the little thing on the bat, like you put your hands on top of each other. Like, well, in response, I'm gonna do this. Like, well, I'm gonna do this.
Oh man!
You ready for this week's superfecta?
Oh man!
We're doing wrestlers, and you get pack one, pick one.
Oh man, this is so tough. Oh, okay, pack one, pick one wrestler. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Boo. Pack one, pick one.
Austin, man,
he's sick.
It's Austin. He may be like the best like draw ever. Maybe there's one other person who could draw better than he could.
Okay, well, I'm just very shocked. Give me Taker.
Taker?
Give me Taker.
Taker?
And that's not my favorite, but I'm gonna take my favorite second. I feel like I have to put respect on Taker's name. Like it's gotta be the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
the Heartbreak Kid.
Oh man.
If Shawn Michaels didn't get you pumped as a little kid, nothing would. Shawn Michaels was that dude.
Oh man. All right. Do I get two or get one?
You get two.
I get two? Oh man. All right. Ric Flair.
Woo! That's a good one.
Gotta take Rick.
You gotta take Ric Flair.
I'm gonna pick as my third pick MJF.
What?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Wow.
He may be one of the best heels I've ever. The guy's got a knowledge of the game like no one else. Dude's like 26 years old, 25 years old. Maybe he's younger than that. I don't even know. But the guy is incredible. The work this dude is doing. He was the biggest freaking heel you could ever be. Not Dominic Mysterio level right now. Like that dude just gets booed out of the building. He can't even say one word. But like he was probably like the top heel in AEW.
Yeah.
But now he switched roles recently, and now he's like the biggest baby face. He's like a baby face champion, and people just love this guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy crap, this guy's got the psychology down.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm not going to pick him, but I think my favorite heel is probably The Miz.
Oh, I love The Miz. Oh, I love The Miz. He's one of my favorites. All-time great there.
The Miz is a great heel.
Yeah, all-time great.
I got to complete the cycle, I think. I got to take Triple H for both pieces of DX. D Generation X, the game, bro. The game.
No.
Best WrestleMania entrances I've ever seen.
No way.
No way?
No way. Undertaker's got him. Taker's got the best.
No, dude. The game has the best.
You just want to see him just like drive down on a motorcycle all the time.
He doesn't always do that. And then he breaks out the sledgehammer.
Oh, my gosh.
And then for my last pick, oh God, this is going to be tough. But I have to take The Rock.
Okay, man.
I have to take The Rock.
He was like definitely one of the better ones on the list that we just never took.
Yeah, I mean, you should have one left.
I got one left. I got to pick my man, Sting.
Sting's sick. That's a sick pick.
Oh man,
Sting when I was a kid,
I love. He was my favorite wrestler when I was growing up. I mean, I was like a hardcore WCW guy, like back in the day.
And Tatanka, Sting and Tatanka. Oh my gosh, bro.
Tonka. Oh man, the Tonka was pretty dang good.
Yeah,
but man, Sting was just the guy. Then he reinvented himself when he did the NWO Sting.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh man. Oh,
there's so many honorable mentions.
There really are some honorable mentions.
Mick Foley didn't make it. That's a crime.
Charlotte Flair didn't get on my list.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I put Charlotte Flair as my honorary pick, but like.
The Ultimate Warrior, bro. Ultimate Warrior running out to the ring.
I don't know, man.
Everybody hype. The Macho Man, Randy Savage, bro.
Pretty savage.
The Hulkster didn't make it. Hulkster was overrated, I feel like.
You know, like the Kenny Omegas, the Switchblade Jay Whites, the newer guys. You don't like the newer guys yet?
I'm not as into it anymore. I don't really have much time to watch it. Yeah.
Brian Danielson, pretty good.
I really liked Finn Balor.
Oh, dude, yeah, Finn was really good. Yeah.
And I really liked Shinsuke when he like first kind of came.
Yeah.
He was a great heel.
He was insane in New Japan wrestling dude was like Okada level, like good.
Yeah.
Man, that guy is insane. Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good times. Brock Lesnar.
Oh, didn't even pick Brock.
I'm not a huge Brock fan though.
Don't pick Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah, no. Give me Seth Rollins over Roman Reigns.
No Goldbergs.
No.
Nah.
We're above that lowbrow stuff. Real wrestling connoisseurs.
man,
You saw more than me, but when I was a kid, I used to watch it all the time.
I was in. Oh man, we'd have like wrestling parties. Like I mean, it was like big deal. Like oh my gosh.
Did you have the trampoline in the back?
Nah, we do these parties where it was just like Royal Rumble's coming up, and so we'd all have this floating party of like, okay, well you're gonna order the pay-per-view, or like my parents are gonna order it, so we're gonna go to your house and we're gonna have like sandwiches and all of those. Just have a whole day of it. And it was just, oh man. But Royal Rumble was always like my favorite of favorites. Oh,
we used to bring pillows out on the trampoline and do all the moves.
Oh,
I would do it to my brother. I would hit my brothers with the moves all the time, bro, on the trampoline. They hated it.
Oh my gosh. I used to always try to put people in submissions. And I was like, yeah, go to sleep. Put the sleeper on them, like put a bigger 4 on them. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, that was always fun. Or just like the Scorpion Deathlock.
Yeah, I still,
AKA the sharpshooter, but
yeah, I still mess with my kids doing that stuff sometimes. Like obviously it doesn't hurt them.
No.
Put my son in the figure 4, and he like his legs are so tiny, he just gets out of it instantly.
Oh man, that was a good superfecta.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Oh man, I wonder if Roby could have named like 2 wrestlers.
I bet he could have.
I bet he watched some wrestling back in the day.
No way. No way. He's
it's like the over-under on that, right?
Like 3 hours of wrestling tops. What do you think? Over? Or
I think it's over. I think it's over 3 hours.
3 hour like of WWE wrestling, like not counting UFC, not counting boxing. I'm talking wrestling, bro.
I think he watched it like early on.
All right, we'll ask him next time.
Okay, good. To be continued.
Yep. We'll catch you boys on the flippy flop.
All right, later.